Hello, folks. I'm Detroit Miracle. Yes, and indeed. Right now, I am here to have more cool comic book slash film slash story discussion fun. This such topic will be about legendary singer called Dorinda Clark. Yes. Oh, Dorinda Clark also got married, so she's Dorinda Clark Cole. She is of the famous gospel singing group, the Clark Sisters. She is, in fact, an elder sister in that group. I will also be comparing power levels for Dorinda Clark Cole as far as what she's characterized as of immensities and excellences all over the place. Okay, Dorinda Clark originally started singing as a child. She sang in her family's church, much like her sisters did. And of course, they were standouts as a sister singing group. So then they decided that, hey, they can make a big impression in the gospel world. So Dorinda Clark and her sisters started performing as a professional gospel singing group. And as you know, the rest is history because they became, if not the most famous gospel singing group ever, they are certainly one of the biggest and most famous gospel singing groups ever. So at an early age, Dr. Maddie Moss Clark, their mother, saw that she saw that her daughter and daughters, of course, were special. Dorinda came last. She was the child daughter. So she's the last daughter, but nevertheless, her mother had a unique talent of finding her daughter's talents and skill sets, and then she would hone and train and condition her daughters to be great, and that's why they became great gospel singers. So Dorinda, as the eldest, was a standout as far as her mother seeing great things in her daughter in terms of her being a great minister, televangelist, singer, songwriter, businesswoman, and etc. She's even a talk show host. Yes, Dorinda has hosted her own gospel talk show. I think on one of those networks, a popular gospel network out there somewhere. There are quite a few popular networks of gospel. So Dorinda, like her sisters, were conditioned and trained well. Dorinda and her sisters didn't have a playful childhood like some kids do because they had to perform, they had to condition themselves, train their skill sets, and protect and perfect them in order to deliver a majestic, magnificent performance as a group. Okay, so Dorinda, as a group member, contributed well, much like the rest of her sisters, because Dorinda Clark wrote songs. She added a jazzy-like flair to her delivery, which set her apart from the rest. And she was even known and became the Rose of gospel music. So she had her own signature brand where she was regarded in that fashion by, of course, her mother, father, sisters, and the rest of the world. Okay, Dorinda Clark eventually decided to go solo and do some other things despite being a part of an immensely popular, prosperous, and wealthy gospel singing group that has sold millions of copies the world over. Okay, so Dorinda Clark decided to go solo, so she would produce hit after hit after hit in the gospel world. She probably did about 4 or 5 solo albums, and they're on her film or disclaimer. They tell you how many albums she did, performed, and even mention the live albums that she did. So they're out there. Okay, so Dorinda, despite being a successful group member and a successful solo artist, she wanted to dive deeper into the gospel world. So she became a talk show host, radio show host, televangelist, evangelist, of course, where she would sing and teach the message of the gospel at the same time. Power levels of comparison for Dorinda Clark Cole. She is an immensely powerhouse of a songwriter, singer, stage performer with her own signature types of flares, and she's a powerhouse of a kind, graceful person, much like the rest of her sisters and mom and dad, of course. Okay, so she's a true graceful powerhouse of character, of dignity, refinement, and she's a spiritual blessing to the world. All right, folks.